Feeling confident when you speak is the first step to being comfortable speaking a second language. If you speak and understand English, but want to feel more confident using it, keep watching. I'll give you my biggest secret to speaking English confidently. So let's talk about confidence. Confidence is my very favorite topic to speak about because I've seen the way that it transforms my students. When they feel confident, they can go out into the world and do their greatest work, and I know you can too. So I'm excited to teach you about confidence, and especially confidence while speaking English. Okay, let me talk to you about Olubenga. He is one of my students, and he is very confident. Okay, he came into my program, he had no problem speaking up, but he did need a lot of help with his pronunciation skills. There were just sounds that he was saying incorrectly, and he just needed to be able to correct those pronunciation mistakes. And as he did, that confidence got even stronger, and he was able to kind of go on and do his work in the world. Okay, then there was Muhammad. Excellent speaking skills, very high level pronunciation, but didn't have the confidence to speak up and use his voice. So one came in with all sorts of confidence, but maybe lower pronunciation skills, and one coming in with a very high level of speaking skills, but low confidence. So what is the difference here? Why does Olubenga have all this confidence where Muhammad doesn't? It's all about our mindset. So let's really talk about the mindset that is required to speak English confidently. So you've worked so hard to learn English, but if you don't feel confident to actually use it, then what's the point? You feel like you maybe need to improve more and more and more and more in order to speak up. But chances are you're probably at a level in your spoken English where you can go ahead and speak up. And in fact, you need to, because the more you do, the better you'll get. Okay, so you need that repetition, you need that practice. But it's very common for my students to kind of want to wait to speak up until their English is perfected. But there's really no way to perfect your English without speaking up and speaking regularly and practicing. So how do you feel confident when you don't feel confident? Well, let's talk about this. So I like to teach about self-confidence versus confidence. So self-confidence is confidence about yourself, okay? So I break it down to 3 areas. So 1, self-confidence, I can learn new things, okay? I can do hard things, and I'm willing to feel uncomfortable for the purpose of growth. So my guess is you probably have a good amount of self-confidence. You've learned English. You can learn new things. You can do hard things. You've learned English. And you've probably done a lot of other hard things in your life. So many of my students have immigrated to the United States, and they're daily doing really, really difficult things. Okay? They're up against very hard things in their life, and they're doing it, and you're doing it. So that self-confidence is probably there of like, yeah, I can learn new things and I can do hard things. Now that third part, I'm willing to feel uncomfortable for the purpose of growth. So we probably have more of like our comfort zone. You have your comfort zone where you feel comfortable, where you like to stay. But are you willing to kind of step out of that comfort zone for the sake of growth? Are you willing to speak up even though you might feel embarrassed? Are you willing to kind of take that risk that maybe you are going to feel a little bit embarrassed because you make a mistake? And can we be okay with that? So self-confidence is going out and doing things that maybe make us feel uncomfortable, but you know that you have to do it because you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to improve. And that's an important part about who you are. Okay, so that's self-confidence. Confidence, on the other hand, comes with experience. To feel confident in something, you have to do it over and over and over again. The things that you feel most confident in are things that you've had a lot of practice and repetition with. Once you do it, then you feel confident to do it again. In one of my recent study groups, I was talking to a couple of our students, and our student Petronilla was talking about how she got her driver's license, but she was terrified to drive. She didn't want to drive on a freeway. So she would avoid it. She would make her son or her husband drive anywhere they went. Well, a situation came up where her husband was out of town and her son got sick. And he was at a university and he was staying in his dorm room. And she needed to go pick him up, okay? And this required driving on a freeway. And she was terrified, okay? She just did not want to do it. But she had no other choice. She had to get in the car. She had to go pick up her son. So she gets in the car. She goes. She's driving on this freeway. She's kind of freaking out. She's determined to go pick up her son and take care of him. She had to face these fears. She knew that she had to step out of her comfort zone to be able to do this. And she was telling us in our study group that once she got going, she got there to her son's house and then she drove him back. And as she was driving back, she just felt this feeling of freedom. She was like, just feeling amazing because this thing that had scared her for so long, she finally just stepped into it. She stepped into it, she overcame that fear and just did it. And yeah, there were external forces that were kind of forcing her to do that, but she did it. And that feeling of freedom was amazing. So then from that point forward, she was able to drive herself wherever she wanted. This is similar to speaking English. You can keep avoiding it. You can keep kind of staying quiet, maybe in some of your meetings at work, or you're not really sharing your ideas or sharing some of the things that you know need to be different or need to change. But by staying quiet, you're keeping yourself trapped and you're not helping anybody else. By keeping quiet, you're not sharing what you have to offer and the value you have. So by overcoming your fear of speaking up, especially with native English speakers, what happens is, the first time, let's say you're in a meeting with a room of native English speakers and you have this thought or idea that you want to share, and all of a sudden your heart starts racing just with the thought of speaking up. So that stress spikes, and then you decide, oh, never mind, I'm not gonna say anything. So you back down, okay? So then the stress level comes down. Well, then you're still in the same position. Nobody's hearing what you have to say. No one has that insight that you have for them. Okay, so let's contrast that with you have something to say, you're thinking about saying it, and that stress level spikes. And then you go ahead and say it. And so then, then you say it, and then there's kind of a lingering, the stress level eventually goes down, but it takes a little time. All right, so that was maybe your first experience with it. Well, the next time you're gonna do it, your stress level may come up, but it might not be as hard the next time. And then the next time, and then the next time. It goes from feeling like a mountain to maybe just a little molehill, okay? So the more you do it, every time you speak up, it does get easier and easier. But we have to have that 20 seconds of insane courage to go ahead and say what you need to say or speak up in that situation. The more you do it, the more confidence you're going to build in being able to speak up. You realize, hey, I didn't die in that situation. I'm okay, and I can handle these uncomfortable emotions because when I do, I get better. I get stronger. People around me get stronger. Because when I speak up and share my expertise and my knowledge and my understanding and my experience, everybody is going to benefit. Okay? But when I stay quiet, or when you're staying quiet, you're keeping everybody from that growth and improvement, including yourself, and especially yourself. Let's not do that anymore. It's time for that 20 seconds of insane courage to speak up and do it over and over and over again until it gets way, way easier. So if you want to know my favorite trick to improving your spoken English quickly, check out my next video about the 3 easy tips.